Hi everybody, this is Mr. Rocco, and this video is going to be about our severe weather public service announcement project. So you're going to find this in the Q3 Week 1 folder. So the learning target for this project says I can develop a public service announcement on a severe weather event of my choice. So we are going to be taking everything we've been learning over the past 7 weeks, and we are going to be creating a public service announcement to inform the public about one important severe weather event. So what we're going to include in this project is the first thing you're going to need to do is to choose a severe weather event. So you're going to choose from either a severe thunderstorm, hailstorm, tornado, hurricane, blizzard, flood, ice storm, or lightning. If you look at number 4, it goes over what your public service announcement is going to include in it. So it's going to have include what is it and where does it occur, how does it form, what type of weather does it bring, what kinds of technology, data, and tools does a meteorologist use to predict this event? What impact or damage can it cause? How can you stay safe during it? And how can you prepare for it? So we are going to be using an app called Book Creator. So the first step is you need to go into your attachments and you need to find the attachment that is called a new book.epub. So you're going to click on a new book.epub. Now it's going to bring up this screen and you might think, oh no, this isn't going to work, right? It says unable to view file. What you need to do is in the upper right hand corner of your iPad screen, there's a little box with an arrow. So you're going to click on that, and what you're going to do is you're going to first send it, scroll over and send it to Book Creator. If you don't have Book Creator installed on your iPad, before you do this step, you should go to self-service and download the app Book Creator. You can see what it looks like. It looks like the book with a rainbow colors around it, okay? So you're not going to be able to do this unless you have already downloaded the app. That's in the instructions. So go ahead and click on Copy to Book Creator. And what it's going to do is going to open Book Creator. This is kind of your main gallery where you have your different books that you've created. So you're going to want to simply click on the book and it opens it up. Book Creator is an app that we're going to be using for this project, somewhat similar to Google Slides but with different abilities. And we're going to be using this app to create our public service announcement. So I've done a lot of the work for you. I've created a editable template that you can use to start your project. Everything in this template can be changed if you don't like it. You can change the colors of the text, you can change the background, you can move pictures around and things like that, but I created a template so you would have something to follow. So the very first page is going to be our cover page, and you can see I said a public service announcement on tornadoes. So the first thing you'd want to do is you'd want to choose for your project what severe weather event you're going to study. So if you want to change the text that's already on the template, all you need to do is double tap on it. Just double tap on it, it's going to bring up the text. And let's say I wanted to do my projects on flooding. So I could just change that like that, okay? A public service announcement on flooding. But my project is about tornadoes, so I'm going to go back to that. And hit done. You can simply move the text around anywhere you want by clicking and dragging it. And you can move it anywhere you want, okay? So the title page is going to have the title of our project, a public service announcement on whatever your severe weather event is. We're going to have a photo in the middle, a picture of that event. So in Book Creator, there's basically 2 main buttons that you need to be aware of. One of them is the plus button in the upper right hand corner. If you click that button, it has all your tools. So you can add photos from your photo gallery. You can take pictures with a camera. You can write something original with the pen, or you can add text. So when I click on photos, just like with most apps, it brings up your recent photos, and you can click on a photo. So this is one I found online, And you can use photos from Google Images or other places that you can find photos, and you can just simply put it in there and adjust the size, and then you're done. The next page, you're going to be writing about what is your severe weather event. So in this box right here, in this blue box, you would be writing about what is it. Okay, so if I wanted to write what a tornado is, I can click the plus button and I can add text. So I can say it is a spinning, oops, why is it doing that? I want S-P-I-N-N-I-N-G. It is a spinning column of air that forms in a rotating thunderstorm. So it's a spinning column of air that forms in a rotating thunderstorm. And I can hit done, and now you can see there's my text. Another really important button in Book Creator is the I button. That's also in the upper right hand corner. It's a circle with an I. So if I click that, it gives me all my formatting options. I can make my text bigger. I can change the color. You can see it better. I can change the font. So whenever you click the I button, whatever object you are clicked on, it'll allow you to change all the formatting options. If you don't like the background, like I said, this is completely editable. You can just click off, click on the background, click the I button, and you can change your backgrounds. Okay. There's comic backgrounds, there's borders, papers. You can do any of those things that you'd like, okay? In the green box, I'm going to write about where does it form. So where does my severe weather event occur? And I would also put a few photos in that would help me see that. On the next page, you're going to describe how your severe weather event forms. So I'm looking for a sentence, a few sentences that describes how does this actual weather event occur? What causes it to form in our atmosphere? So I'd like you to make sure that you talk about, well, what kind of air mass do you need? What kinds of weather fronts might be associated with it? Is it a cold front that causes this? Is it a warm front that causes this? Is it a low pressure system or a high pressure system? Remember, this project is about showing what you've learned over the past several weeks of our weather unit. In the white box, it says draw a model or a diagram to show how your severe weather event forms. So for this one, I would grab the pen and I would create a diagram or a model to show this type of severe weather event. So for my event, I'm going to put a big kind of rotating supercell. Okay, I'm going to put an arrow in here that kind of shows that it's rotating. Actually, I'm going to do that a little bit different here. I'm going to put kind of an arrow like that. And then I'm also going to put that there's warm air rising up, and there's this cold air, this downdraft, and then that's creating this spinning column of air. Creates my tornado here. And then I would label that, okay? So I don't want this video to be a half-hour long. So you would label all the parts to show how does this weather event form, okay? And I'll show you in just a little bit where you can find this information. Okay, and then I go to the next page. On this page, it says what types of specific weather occurs with your severe weather event. So in this box here, you would write down for a tornado, well, I would have strong winds, I would have heavy rains, I would have hail, lightning, thunder. What are all the specific weather things that would be associated with this type of severe weather event? Down here where the photos are, you can put individual pictures of those specific weather events like rain and hail and lightning to make it more interesting. On the next page, a really important part of this project is understanding how do meteorologists predict this type of event. So I want you to do some research, and I'll show you some websites here in a minute, of how does a meteorologist actually predict this type of weather event. So for tornadoes, a meteorologist would use radar a lot. The radar would show where the precipitation is spinning in the atmosphere, and that would help us identify where tornadoes. We have storm spotters on the ground that actually watch the skies. They look for specific cloud formations and funnel clouds and wall clouds, and they report it back to the Weather Service. We have computer models that forecast the conditions in the atmosphere and if a tornado is likely to form. So I want you to include pictures and information about, well, how do we predict this type of weather event? Okay. On this page, I want you to find examples of, well, what kinds of damage can this severe weather event cause. So in this blue box here, it says list examples of damage with your severe weather event. Also, find some pictures of these things, okay? On this page, a big part of a public service announcement is how do we get the public to prepare so that they can be safe in this type of situation. So I want you to do some research and figure out what is a safety plan, steps that you can take, step 1, step 2, step 3, step 4, step 5. Maybe it doesn't have 5 steps, but what are the steps you can take to prepare for this severe weather event, okay? So for a tornado, one of my preparation items would be to have a weather radio. A weather radio would allow you, would alert you if there is bad weather coming, okay? So I would put that in my step 1, okay? And I would just work my way through here with different things I could do to prepare for it, okay? The last page is the extra credit page, so it's optional, but it says, what is a recent example of this severe weather event that took place somewhere? So I want you to do some research, find an example of a current weather event in the last year, where it happened, what happened, and a picture of it, okay? So that is our project on creating a public service announcement. Where you're going to go for the information. If you go back to Schoology, first off, this first link is a rubric. It shows how you're going to be graded. This project is going to be graded as an assessment. So it's a 80% chunk of your third quarter grade, and there's going to be 5 points for each of these categories. So if you read through here, you can see what you need to do a good job on this project. All right, the 2 websites you can use to do research. There's a link right here. One of them says Weather Whiz Kids website. So on the left here, you have all your severe weather events. So if you were doing tornadoes, you can click on tornadoes. And you can see if you just simply scroll down, it goes through most of the information. What is a tornado? How do tornadoes form? Here's some diagrams you can use and pictures to help you draw your model. What are factors for tornadoes to form? What do they look like? So if you just scroll down, you have all the information right here that's showing you everything you need to know about tornadoes. The one thing that you don't have a lot here is, well, how do we predict them? Okay, so there's another website you're going to use, but you have all your different weather events over here on the left-hand menu, and you can click on those. This one's also a great website. This is the National Severe Storms Laboratory, and the different weather events are over here. You can see we've got thunderstorms, tornadoes, floods, lightning. So if I clicked on tornadoes again, and I wanted to learn about, well, how do we detect these things? How do we predict them? I could click on detection, and you can see that we use storm spotters in bold right there. We use Doppler radar. There's pictures of it. You can read a little bit about that. They show you the shape on a radar, what a tornado actually looks like. If I go, if I go to forecasting, I can see, well, how do we predict the thunderstorm forecasting? So you can learn about how we use computer forecast models and ensemble forecasting. So there's all satellites, many different ways that we forecast severe weather. So this is a great website where you can find more information about that, okay? So to summarize here, this is our quarter 3 final project on the weather unit that we worked on throughout second quarter, and we're finishing up here in the beginning of third quarter. We're going to work on this all of this week. I expect you guys to do your best work. When you're ready to turn your project in, what you would do is you'd go back to the main page. Okay, so where you have your books, and you'd have that one pulled up, and there's a button right here, a square with an arrow. So when you're done with it, you're going to export it as a PDF. Okay, it's important